Good afternoon. My name is Amin Khan, Associate State Director with AARP. Welcome to everyone who is joining us live. Today we are here for an AARP California Webinar Wednesday conversation with our special guest, Jose Posadas, Election Specialist for the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters, to talk about voting in the 2022 elections. We encourage you to share this stream on your channels so that interested friends and family may also participate in today's conversation. Jose, thank you for joining AARP California today.
Thank you.
As you know, AARP California is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that works on behalf of our 38 million members nationally and 3.3 million members statewide to enhance the quality of life for all people as we age. AARP provides Americans ages 50 plus with trusted information about the 2022 elections and fights to make sure candidates keep their promises. To that end, let's get started with the conversation today about the 2022 elections and voting. Jose, can you share more about yourself and your work?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm based out of Santa Clara County. I work for the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters as an election specialist. It's one of the divisions in the Registrar of Voters, and my primary responsibility is to locate and secure a lot of the polling places, or what is now called vote center locations, as well as interview and place all the staff that we need at these vote centers. And we definitely need a lot of folks because we hire about 2,000 people just to put on this election and work at here in Santa Clara County, 103 vote centers. So I'm sure there are other folks like me throughout the state of California because there are 58 counties in California. Almost half of them are what is called Voters Choice Act counties, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. And I'm also a proud immigrant. I came from Mexico as a baby of only almost 2 years old, but I was raised here in the United States and specifically in San Jose.
Great. So how can someone check their voter registration status? If they're not registered to vote, how can they register to vote?
The easiest thing probably would be to contact your local county registrar of voters, and they will be able to assist you directly. But you can also go to the Secretary of State website out of Sacramento, and you can also there directly check if you are registered to vote or if you need to update your voter registration. Maybe you moved to a new residence since the last time you voted, or you recently got married, changed your name. So those are the best ways to do it, and you still have plenty of time to still register to vote. So we encourage people to do that before the deadlines.
Great. And if someone misses the deadline to register to vote, can they still vote?
Yes, the interesting thing about the Voters' Choice Act, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that you can actually vote and register up until the exact date of the election, which would be on Tuesday, November 8th. So we do have deadlines prior to that, but they are mostly so that we at the registrar will be able to collect your information and put in the mail the vote by mail ballot and that you get it on time. So that's the reason why we have one of the preliminary registration deadlines, which is October the 24th. But if you miss that deadline, you can walk into a vote center or in the registrar's office. You can pre-register what is called conditional voter registration. You can still vote, and we'll verify your registration after and make sure that your vote is counted.
That's good to know. So what's new to voting this year?
Well, with every election, there's always new races, new candidates, new propositions. It's quite a good coincidence that we're having this conversation today because just yesterday in my mail arrived the voter guide from the state of Sacramento, and it's going to be something that will look like this. So I was excited to get it just yesterday. It has all the information about the propositions, about the candidates and the races. But probably the biggest thing that people should look out for in this upcoming November election is redistricting boundaries. So that happened as a result of the census that took place in 2020. So a lot of the boundaries that you might be familiar with have possibly changed. So you want to make sure you contact your local registrar of voters check to see if you're still in the same jurisdiction and boundary that you were in the last election, because some folks, for example, may have been in a jurisdiction for a school district, but now because of the redistricting process, they might be in a different school district now. So please make sure of where you are as far as districts, and if there's any changes, you can vote accordingly.
Great. What races are on the ballot this year?
Well, quite a bit. Here in California, we are voting for our governor. As many of you know, there was a recall election previously last year, but this is the regular election for governor. And so the governor's race will be on that ballot in November. Plus, there's other Senate office, United States Senate, United States House of Representatives, State Senate, State Assembly. And really, for a lot of folks, it's really the local issues that most people will be watching. It might be a race for your local sheriff, your city council representative, your mayor. You just have to go through the ballot that you received. And like I said a little bit earlier, some of those races might be different than you're used to because of redistricting, but there's going to be a lot of choices for you to make in this upcoming election.
Now, how can someone vote by mail, and what are the key deadlines that folks should be aware of?
Well, here in California, everybody will be receiving a vote by mail ballot. So that will be coming to your door soon. In fact, I think the date when we will start mailing them out will be, let me see here, by November the 1st. So we're going to be sending them out. Actually, no, let me correct that. It's going to be October the 24th. We're going to be starting to send those out very soon. You should receive them. And the easiest way for you to vote is vote by mail. Here in Santa Clara County, and I would think throughout the state of California, the majority of voters are voting by mail. It's quite an easy process. You'll receive a white envelope similar to what I am holding here. Inside, you will have your ballot. You will have your return envelope, will be posted prepaid. You fill that out at your comfort. You can do it at home and then just throw it in the mailbox the next day if you'd like, or you can bring it into the offices of the Registrar of Voters, or you can drop it off at either the drop box location or a vote center located near you.
Terrific. Now, once someone votes by mail, how can they be sure that their vote is fully counted?
The best thing that they can do is something that was started in California called Where's My Ballot? And that is a way for you to both track your ballot, to see when it has been mailed to you, and you will be able to receive a message when we have received it back at our county registrar, and also when it has been counted. So you can find that information also on the Secretary of State's website. It's called Where's My Ballot? And you can track your ballot throughout the whole process. And it's really a nice way to know that your envelope has been received, that your ballots have been counted. I did that myself the last election, and I got messages through my email and through my text telling me exactly where my envelope was and when my ballot was counted. So it was something that was very reassuring to me, and I think it will be that too for many voters in California.
That's great. Now, what will voting in person look like this year, and how can folks learn more on where the poll location is?
It'll look similar to what it has been since 2020. Since 2020 is when, like I said earlier, half the state of California participated in the Voters' Choice Act. And so what we will have are large vote centers located throughout the county. Here in Santa Clara County, there are 103 locations. There are 99 drop boxes. And so folks will be able to start voting in person fairly soon. The vote centers here locally and in other Voters' Choice Act counties will start opening on October the 29th. It's a Saturday, and some of them will be open for 11 days, and some of them will be open the following week and open for 4 days. So the best way that you can find out where you can vote in person is, again, to go to your local county registrar of voters. They should have a tab and a site where you can enter in your address, and it'll tell you what is the closest vote center close to where you live. Now, if you're in a traditional polling place county, the process will be similar, but you will most likely be able to only vote in person in a polling place where you are listed as a voter. So you want to make sure you go to the right polling place in those locations that are still using the 1 day polling place locations in your county.
Thank you. The last question before we take a few questions live. Are volunteers needed to staff the polls? And if so, how can folks sign up to volunteer?
We could not put on these elections without people like you are mentioning. We need literally thousands of people to help us with the election. With the Voters Choice Act here in Santa Clara County, they're actually hired as temporary employees. So they're voluntary in the sense that they are voluntarily filling out the application to work for us. But once we hire them, we actually are paying them an hourly wage, which is not too bad here in Santa Clara County. In other locations, it might be a little bit differently. But if somebody is not able to work for us for anywhere from 7 days to 14 or more days, we do have a volunteer stipend position. That's the more traditional volunteer position where you can apply as a volunteer, but even then, we give you a flat stipend to acknowledge the effort and the commitment that you have given to us as a volunteer to help us put on these elections. And then we ask if you can either work 1 to 4 days. So it'll either be on Tuesday, the November 8th election, or any day prior to, which would be the weekend of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. So if folks are still interested in volunteering, contact your local registrar of voters. You can also go to our website here in Santa Clara County. It's sccvote.org, and you can find the tab under volunteer. Fill out your application. It's almost automatic by the time you hit the send button, and probably the next day we'll be contacting you to see where it is that we can find a place for you to help us out, because we still need people. As much as we try, we are always in need of people. And so we're shooting for about 2,000 people to help us with this election locally.
Thank you, Jose. Now we have time to take an audience question or two live. So we have a question from an audience member asking, what happens if someone forgets to sign their vote by mail ballot?
Typically, that is one of the things that people unfortunately forget. So it's always important that you follow the instructions on your vote by mail envelope and make sure that you do sign it before you drop it in the mailbox or drop it back here at our local office or a vote center. But if we do find an envelope like that, what we will do is we will send a letter mailed to your residence to verify this is your ballot that you mailed in, and we will request that you sign that document and send it back to us to verify that it was indeed your envelope. So there is a fail-safe way for us to contact you if you did inadvertently forget to sign your envelope.
That's great. Thank you. And then we have another question asking, can you register to vote now if you aren't 18 yet, but will be by election day?
That's an excellent question, because we are always in the process of registering people, whether it's somebody that is an adult, somebody that has relocated, changed their name, etc. But if you are a youth that is under 18 here in California, we have pre-registration opportunities. Basically, what that is that you will pre-register as a voter. We will hold on to your information, and as soon as your 18th birthday is about to hit the calendar, we will send you that voting material so that by the time that the election rolls around, you're now 18, you will be able to vote, which is a great benefit to especially a lot of the high school students that want to become active. They probably aren't 18 yet, but want to participate, they can pre-register to vote. We'll have them on our voter records, and we'll send them the information as soon as they turn 18.
Thank you, Jose. And then we have another question from an audience member who wants to know that they are with an organization. Are there ways that they can help share voter education information?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of the information that we here at the county share is through our website, through our social media sites, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. We recently started to use the TikTok platform. So all those questions, or excuse me, all those resources you can share through your own social media pages as well. A lot of the information on our website is downloadable. You can copy and paste links. You can print material. If you do want some very personalized service, we have an outreach team, a coordinator that you can contact here in Santa Clara County, and we can get you a lot of that printed information as well, including some kind of giveaway merchandise that a lot of people like when we go out to events to table and to register folks. So contact us at our outreach contact information, which is on our website. And by all means, also find the resources through the Secretary of State's website as well.
Thank you, Jose. Any last words before we close, Jose?
The last thing that I would like to say, I guess, is that I've been working for the registrar for about almost 7 years now, and it's something that is very close to me, very important to me. As I mentioned at the beginning, I was here in the United States as an immigrant, so a lot of things that I wanted to do, I could not do by virtue of the fact that I was not a citizen. But as I became an adult, I became naturalized. And ever since then, I always make it a point to vote at each and every election, not just the major elections like presidential or gubernatorial, but really any election that affects me and my community. So a lot of the school district elections, local elections for mayor, city council, etc., because I think it's important that we as citizens, whether you are an immigrant or native born citizen, it's important to participate. One of the things that I've seen through this work is unfortunately how many people still do not vote. Back in June, we had one of the lowest voter turnouts that was quite low. It was barely in the 30s. I don't think we even cracked the 40% of voters that were eligible to vote. So it sends to me a message that if I'm not voting, then some other person is voting and making the decisions for me. And I feel that as a citizen, I should be making those decisions on issues that are important to me, issues that are important to me as an immigrant, but also now as somebody who is also 50 plus of age, issues that are important to older populations. So a lot of the work that you do is very important to me as a resident, a citizen, and as a older person. And so I definitely keep an eye out on issues that come across my table through every election that happens. So I encourage everybody who is not registered to please register. If you are registered to vote, I encourage you to vote. Your vote is very, very important. And one day I hope that we can get more than 90% of the eligible people that are registered to vote to actually go out and vote. Because I know that we've had it in the high 80s. So I know where we can do it, and we just need to all participate and vote in the upcoming election.
Thank you, Jose. And for anyone who joined late, we had the wonderful opportunity of speaking with Jose Posadas, election specialist for the Santa Clara County Register of Voters on voting in the 2022 elections. To learn more about voting in California, please visit aarp.org/CA votes. Jose, thanks again for joining us today. It has been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
Always.
And to our viewers, we hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us live.